Good morning. I hope this finds you all well this morning. It's cold here, so I have on an extra sweater. Um, it's in the teens outside. Uh, we do have heat inside, but even inside it can feel pretty cold when it's that cold outside. Okay, uh, this morning I want to read from James chapter 1, verses 2 to 4 and verse 12. Okay. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him. Okay. Trials can be little things, trials can be big things. I just had a very little trial. I was making a journal for a family member who had requested it, and I wanted to add some pictures in it, and I wanted to identify who was in the pictures. And so I got out my pen and I wrote on the back, who's in the pictures, and I stacked the pictures all together. What I didn't realize is that my ink in my pen was the kind that wiped off real easily, So what happened is that the ink from the backs of the pictures got on the fronts of the other pictures. So I have this whole stack of pictures that I took to the pharmacy and I had printed off, and now most of them have splotches of ink all over them and all over people's faces, and I'm like, I didn't intend to do that. I meant well. I was trying to make sure that when they looked at the pictures that they knew who everybody was, because I wasn't always really good at that. I would put pictures in albums and I'm thinking, I know who these people are. And then years later, like I had my oldest son and my youngest son, when they were little, they looked very much alike, And I'm the mother, I'm thinking, I'll remember who my children are. But then years later, I realized, I look at that and I'm like, I'm not sure if that's David or if that's Stephen. Um, and So I had to look at, the background and if there were any other people around so I could tell which one was it. So if you take pictures, it's a good idea if you organize them and if you identify who the people are, because I was just horrible about that. So I was trying to do a good deed, and make sure that I identified who the people were, and then it backfired on me. And so now I have a stack full of pictures with ink smeared on faces and everything, so I'm probably going to have to redo them. Okay. So this is just a little trial, okay? But, sometimes little trials, I think sometimes little trials can get to us more than the big trials, because the big trials, I think we expect those more, and we're better prepared for those. But it's those little things that just, come in that we don't anticipate sometimes can get to us more. Now this didn't get to me. I just felt badly that I messed it up. But so I'm just saying that a trial doesn't have to be something huge. A trial can be something little, and we need to respond to the little trials in the right way. It's and I just have to realize, that I'm human. I made, an error, but it was not obviously not a deliberate one. I just didn't realize that the ink would get, all over like that. So anyway, so yeah, it's something I'm gonna have to do over, but I can't, I can't let those little things, get to me. I just got new glasses on. They they didn't snug them up very well, and the bifocal is not where it should be, and so that's been another little trial that I've had, because when I'm trying to look at writings and like that, I'm having to go like this, and I'm like, that's not going to work. They got the bifocal too low. Now, I think they could probably correct it if they just, snug it up more and raise it up a little bit, and I think we'll be okay. Otherwise, they'll have to redo it. So that was just another little trial, that I've been going through is, uh, that I get new glasses, and which I needed. I hadn't had new glasses in 7 years, and but this past year I got COVID. It was called COVID. I'm not sure what it was, but it was really bad. The month of January, and I was very, very sick the whole month of January. I couldn't hardly eat anything. And then following that, I lost half of my hair, and that went on for several months, And then it took probably about a half year to really get my strength back and to be, more my normal self, And so I think, maybe my vision just really decreased a lot, after that. So that could be from that. It could not be from that. But I really did need new glasses because if I went to the mall or anywhere out in public, I couldn't see people's faces. And I thought if anybody waves at me, I'm not going to be able to tell who they are unless I get up really close. So it's really nice being able to see distance. And I probably won't use these glasses much for this though, because the top part is my distance. Reading and looking at a computer, it's not real clear, but I could see well enough, for that. But anyway, I know I'm going off on a lot of trivial things, but it's pointing out that trials don't have to be big things, They don't have to be even spiritual things necessarily, A trial can just be anything that interrupts our normal lives, that makes changes in our lives, things we didn't expect, like not being able to see now, without going like this. If I'm trying to read, with a book or something in front of me, but we'll work on getting it corrected, and I can reprint the pictures. It's no big deal. I mean, I can afford it. Not everybody could. So for some people that might be, a really trying thing because they don't have the money to do it again. But we're not wealthy, so don't get that idea. But I can afford to reprint them. It's just then I have to do that over again. I have to get a different pen, that it's not going to smear like that. But anyway, so I believe the Lord allowed me to go through these things. So and then to have this be the passage of scripture for today, because really truly sometimes it's those little trials that upset us and impact us more, and that we are more likely to respond to in the wrong way because we don't anticipate them. They just kind of sneak in, where we expect, there's going to be a big storm, or there's going to be this or that, and so sometimes it's just the little ones, that get to us. And so we have to learn to respond, just to the little things, just like even when I was creating the journal, because I wanted to have it computerized, and I was having trouble finding a program that worked for it, and I admit I was getting a little frustrated, because I'm good at some computer things, but not great, and so but I finally found something that worked, and I was able to make it work and like that. But so there's just been a lot of little things, this week, but they're no big deal. They're things that can be resolved, So I think the Lord just wanted me to talk about that, to let you know that trials don't have to be big things all the time. They can just be those little annoying things that can get into our lives that could maybe frustrate us, and that we can't let them get to us. We can't let them take us out. We can't let them impact our emotions or our temperament or how we end up treating other people or whatever. We have to respond to the little things in life just as godly as the big things like death, of a loved one, or um, uh, you know, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Like a hurricane or something like that, like wipes out your house, and um, or a war or famine or floods. Like a year ago, we had a huge flood in our apartment from the apartment above. Um, and I mean, we had water all over the place, and that was a pretty huge trial. It wasn't a life or death trial that a lot of people are going through. But anyway, so I just want to encourage you today that no matter what your trials are, even if it's these little tiny things, to count it all joy. You have to count it all joy that I messed up those pictures and I'm going to have to redo them, but that's okay. And I have to pick a different kind of pen and ink that's not going to smear like that. Um, and because it says you're going to have trials of various kinds. You're going to have big ones, you're going to have little ones. Um, but all these things come to test our faith. They all come to test our patience, our trust in the Lord, our quietness, and our resolve to not let these things, get to us. All this is to test us. Are we going to be able to stay godly, in the little, just those little things, as well as when we have to, face the big things. We need to remain steadfast, in our faith, and under trial, and we need to stand the test on even these little things, and just keep loving the Lord, keep obeying Him, keep walking with Him, keep trusting Him, because Satan is going to try all different ways to try to get to us and to take us out, and so we can't let him get to us even one little bit. Okay, all right, that's the encouragement for today.